Well, guys, here we are once again, going down to the river valley just for the fun of it. And we're gonna talk with some people, share a little inspiration. By the way, here's how my day's gone so far. I have talked with a friend of mine. He's stage 4 terminal cancer. They had up his pain meds, so he is not able to do the hypnosis component of pain management that we've been working on. That's kind of sad. And by the way, when I say stage 4 terminal cancer, I mean I'm going to enjoy the interviews with him as much as I can. He's my friend Bruce Vance. We've known each other for ages. I did his wedding way back in the day. So it's emotional, but you know what? The guy is so incredibly positive. It is just, you know, a breath of fresh air. And I think the more that we can have positive people around us and those inspirational people, I think it's going to be better all around. And so what I've been doing is I've been looking around, looking at what people are doing that's inspirational. You know, I talk a lot about self-image and stuff like that. And what I'm finding is that it's probably one of the greatest challenges, but once you can figure it out. I was talking with a local school, high school in Lethbridge here, and it was amazing to me how much these people were inspired by the tools and tricks without even hypnosis, just by thought processes and stuff like that, by focusing on their uniqueness, that they could change things. Now, speaking of uniqueness, I'd said this before, I'd come across this beautiful, amazing 13-year-old, and she's just over there out of camera range. And she, of course, I met her at the Mud Bog in Tabor about, May 25th. And she was driving her dad's huge Dodge Diesel 2500. Really impressive. Now, what's happened since then is even more impressive, is the fact that, first of all, she is able to kind of sort of come out of her shell, because she's a little shy, and I'm looking at her right now, and she's going like, I don't like being on camera. However, we talk about it, and she knows that it's important to have this message to share, and there's a lot of people that, you know, need to be inspired. And the story here is that North American Powertrain Components, the transmission went south during her run, her 1066 run, which was amazing, second fastest of all the diesels there. NAPC has come together to bring her a new transmission. Todd Crane, the VP of NAPC up in Edmonton, basically looked at it and said, man, like, she is an inspiration. He's gone through a similar situation with his daughter when she was 11 years old, and back in 2018, #1 swimmer in her category in Canada. So now it's like a bunch of us are going around going like, hey, who can we find to inspire the young people of today? And when I talked about her during that presentation at the high school here, the people were blown away by what we had going on. So, Mom, can I get you to sit over here?
Yeah.
Or you can stand up over here, whatever you want to do. And this is Mal over here. I'm going to pass her the camera. There you go. Can I just get you to scooch over a little bit? For those of you that don't know, this is Maya, 13 years old. She was the driver of the truck. And, you know, we all have our things. Like, I'm very comfortable behind the camera and doing stuff like this. And I know you're not, but I also know you're a good person, and you've got this amazing story to share. But let me ask you this. What is going on right now, your thought process? Because there's kind of a bunch of us behind the scene that are going like, man, she's so amazing. Wow, we got to do this, got to do this for her. And you're sitting there, what are you thinking?
It's a little, like, stressful a little bit, but I really want to, like, get this truck to be good for the mud bogs and stuff and get it done on time, so then I can make everybody proud.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I think the thing is, we're already very proud of you. And I want you guys to understand this. Now, if you think we're putting a lot of pressure on Maya, we're actually not. What we're doing is we've just got her back. And it doesn't matter win, lose, whatever happens, we're just so proud to be on this journey. So the hashtag for this is Maya's Journey. And we also include NAPC, which stands for North American Powertrain Components. I always have to think of that when I say it, I don't know. So NAPC, so we tagged them in it. Todd Crane and the guys there, absolutely fantastic. Transmission should be here when?
Today, I think, or tomorrow.
Today or tomorrow? Okay. Well, yeah, hopefully, and then your dad is going to be putting it in there, and we'll get to test it out.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me ask you this, what are some of the concerns that maybe you have kind of going up to the mud bog on the 15th and Pincher Creek?
For something to break right before, the truck to like not start or something, or to get stuck in the middle and we don't have it hooked up. It's just kind of a nerve-wracking experience to do it.
Well, I can make this recommendation for you. Just enjoy the journey.
Mm-hmm.
This is all about you. It's just what you're doing. And it's actually, in some respects, aside from your age, it is just you being you,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's got nothing to do with anyone else, except, of course, you know, all of us that are behind you are just going like, girl, what can you do? Come on, lay it on us, lay it on us. So just so you know, in Pincher Creek, it's a bit of a tougher pit than in Tabor. And if I share this with you, how does it make you feel? Most vehicles a lot of vehicles, depending on how the pit's set up, in the stock class and the super stock class, which is what you're going in this time, right? Super stock?
Yeah.
Because you got the lift kit. What is that, a 4.5 inch?
Yeah.
4.5 inch lift kit. If you're wondering what the rig looks like, if you go to my Facebook, James Castelli, or my Out of the Box podcast page, there are pictures of her along with her video there. There's the one with your mug.
Yeah.
Which is number 1 first place youth.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a picture of her standing up against the Dodge pickups, 2500, 97?
98.
98. It's a beast of a truck, you know, absolutely amazing, and you handle it so well.
Mm-hmm.
So in Pincher, if the pit's set up the way it normally is, you'll be pushing to see if you can make it the farthest through. A lot of times the super stocks, they won't make it all the way through. It's just because of the way the mud is. But then what you do is you go for distance. Now, depending on when you run, you may have the greatest distance. You may be going the furthest, you know? And so when you kind of look at that, how does that make you feel?
Pretty happy and stuff if I make it the farthest.
Yeah, I think the odds of you doing that are really good, just the way your dad's got the whole vehicle set up. Now, that said, can we talk about some of the other concerns you have with sharing videos and stuff like that with your friends? Because this is something that everybody your age goes through.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
I mean, I don't really like to show my face on camera very often, and like I just feel like it's a little bit embarrassing to me to be on camera all the time. And some of my friends are a little like, they can just be like mean to just try to be like funny and stuff. They might just make fun of me and like not mean in a rude way.
Yeah.
But
I think they're jealous. So honestly, think of it this way. This is no different from your peers that play in high-level sports, volleyball, stuff like that. There are always those people that are like the top players,
mm-hmm.
and they're on video all the time, right? But that's their norm. And my hope is, as we go forward with this will kind of be your norm too, and you'll kind of acclimate to it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the message. There's 8 billion people in the world. You're not 1 in a million. You're 1 in 8 billion. Or you're 1 in a billion, maybe. I don't know. It might be even more unique. I mean, there's nobody around that has your unique support. Mom and Dad both getting behind this, right? Mm-hmm. I remember when you were doing your first run, or after your first run, and Mom's back there, Mel's back there. She's like, "That's my daughter. She's 13 years old." And I'm like, "What?" And you can hear the whole crowd go, "What?" And we're so taken aback, you know, and because that's so out of the box that somebody your age says, "Hey, Mom, hey, Dad, can I go to a mud bog and drive Dad's truck?" Mm-hmm. It's so crazy. Let's go back to the friend situation. We have friends that they're marble jar friends, and they're not. So the way it works, I get this from Brene Brown, and I love her for this. She talks about young people like yourself, and you have friends that every time they do something good for you, right, a marble goes in the jar, right? So we call them marble jar friends. And we only have a handful of them. Then we have the friends who are not. They're the friends that they say not nice things, you take the marble out. But your marble jar friends, they're the ones that are going to support you. They're the ones that maybe they see the video, maybe they don't, but they know what you're doing. Maybe they're coming out to watch you on June 15th in Pincher Creek area. You know, by the way, that's the Western Mudslingers. If you go to their website, go to their Facebook page, then I love when people know we're filming and they do stuff like that. If you go to their page, then there's a map of where we'll actually be. So you can find that out, and that's where Maya's going to be. But you've got friends that are going to come out, and those are your marble jar friends. And the people that, you know, that kind of want to shoot you down and stuff like that. And I don't think there's anyone like that. Honestly, sometimes we get so caught up in our minds that we think, oh, you know, like there's going to be the haters out there and there's not going to be much support. I'll tell you what, you're always going to have support from a great group of people, your friends especially. And as you move forward with this, you can share with them the experience. And the hope is that as they move forward, they will find the thing that they're good at, and they'll get the support of their parents behind them, and they'll be able to do like some absolutely amazing things. And that's going to start with your story, right? And it's going to be a positive one. And I tell you what, if you deem what you do to be a failure, that's the first step towards success. So revving a 5.9 liter Dodge Cummins up to $3,000 and putting it back in drive because it keeps slipping out of gear, which, I mean, that was an already existing issue. That's why we weren't really too concerned about taking in the mud bog, because, you know, it's one of those things, it's an older truck, it's a beast. And you see the mud bog vehicles, they're all older vehicles, right? Because those are the really dependable ones. So now you know basically about the transmission shifting and stuff like that. So you are now that much further ahead, right? And you think about this, as you move forward, maybe after Pincher Creek, you go on to do another one and another one. And your summer will be full of all these amazing memories. And now, that said, how comfortable would you feel taking your friends along on the journey and showing them some video?
I mean, I don't really like showing them videos of stuff sometimes. I mean, I don't think they would judge very much. I don't know, I think they'd share it to somebody thinking that they wouldn't share it, and if they shared it to a whole bunch of people, I don't really want people to see a whole bunch of this stuff. Like, they can come watch and stuff, but just not videos.
Yeah. And so that's one thing about where we are right here is we're in a kind of a totally separate area. There's us parents that are looking at what you're doing, and we're hoping to inspire our kids, right? Or you're out of the box in what your parents have done in saying, Mom, what did you say when she said she wanted to do it?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And your dad's, yeah. Because now tell me the story behind mud bogging with your family.
Well, when I was little, I remember going in the mud bog and sitting passenger with my dad. And he would, like, usually we'd make it all the way through, and if not, it was just halfway, and it was for distance.
Yeah.
But I remember doing it for a very long time, and then we had to quit for a year because my grandma got sick and stuff. And then a whole bunch of just, like, family problems and stuff happened. But then when I came back to it for this year, felt like it was, like, the same thing. I just, like, never missed, like, I missed it a lot.
Yeah. But. Yeah, for sure. I got to put my sunglasses on here. Holy smokes, it's bright out here. So you missed it a lot, and you heard about the Tabor mud bog. And when did you say to Mom and Dad that you wanted to do this?
I was like, hey, I think I want to do the mud bog this year. My dad thought that he meant like passenger again, and I was like, I want to drive this year. And then I told my mom that too, and then they're kind of like, they're really supportive of it, but like I knew my dad was a little bit like off edge, like kind of wanting to like keep his baby truck like not through that. So he's like, well, you only live once anyways. The truck will eventually break down.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. Can you imagine your son or daughter? And this is what I say, like this is all of us parents out here, you know, going like, man, wish my daughter had come to me with something like that. And I mean, I'm very proud of my kids. When I talked to school, I could see there were a lot of kids that they weren't getting out of the box of the norm. They weren't in a position to even ask the right question. I always tell people, don't be afraid to ask. Whatever you're doing, don't be afraid to ask. And you asked that question. And then your dad reached out and asked NAPC if there was anything they could do to help. And they stepped up big time. And I think it's, the tranny's called a 47RE. And I have no idea what that is. And I didn't ask Todd that. It sounds really good. And him and his team, he said, yeah, this engine, this transmission powertrain's going to be perfect for what they're doing. And I'm like, oh, cool. So you were brave enough to ask the question. You're brave enough to get behind the wheel.
Mhm.
If I were to ask you to give me a bunch of I am statements. Now, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I think you do really well with this. So I teach young people the I ams. So the I am talks about how you feel, talks about how you see yourself, your self-image. So, you know, and I would say, okay, I'm an announcer, I'm a motivational speaker, I'm a hypnotist. But that doesn't define me. I go by Jim, James, JR. That doesn't define me. So none of those individual things define who I am, but they're a part of who I am. So if I asked you to give me an I am statement or two, what would you say?
I mean, I really like the whole like mud bogging thing, and I've always liked horseback riding and figure skating, and I liked biking a lot.
So if you put that into an I am statement, you could say I am a mud bogger.
Mhm.
And then with dirt biking, things like that, you could say
I am a dirt biker.
And what about your personality? How you see yourself?
I see myself pretty like caring and really open to people, and always wanting to make new friends and stuff.
Yeah. So I am.
Nice, caring.
Yeah, that's perfect. And you know, I say this. The hardest thing for people, for young people and other people to say, is I am good. I am great, because they're worried that if they say I am great, that other people are going to, oh, she's or he's egocentric or full of themselves. No, everybody should believe that they're great. Everybody should believe they've got infinite potential. And you are that person right there on this amazing journey. And I mean, I don't need to tell you that. I'm just kind of putting in words for, you know, the camera. So you're a nice person, you're friendly, you're caring, and I think you are most deserving of all the incredible stuff that is going to come your way. No matter what level it is, it's all going to be incredible.
Mhm.
If you were going to share something with other people, young women your age, and especially young women your age, because they're just not represented in these things as much as they could be, right?
Mhm.
What would you say? What would you share?
Well, you always, even if it's like considered a boy sport, you can still do it because it's everything like anything that anybody can do, like a guy could do, a girl can also do it. They just have to might work a little bit harder, but it always pays off in the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Maya, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Mom, thank you for being behind the camera and giving us the opportunity to make this happen. Also, people behind the scene, of course, Dad, working on the rig right now, and Todd Crane and his crew at NAPC up in Edmonton. We appreciate you guys very much. We'll catch up soon, and hopefully, as we move forward, actually, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff out in Pincher Creek, and we'll be outside the vehicle though. Outside the vehicle, watching this very impressive, skilled young driver do her thing, and we're just going to go on that journey together. Thank you guys very much. Keep on following along, and we'll catch up soon. Yeah, right there. Yep.